This is Irene. She's from the Ukraine, she's been living in Jamaica, and she's been making videos about Jamaica. Recently, I saw a video from her titled 10 Reasons Why Living in Jamaica is Difficult. The Real Problems of Jamaica. So because I've been looking for some new content to watch, I clicked and boy oh boy, what a mistake. I watched the video and I was disappointed. But apparently, I'm probably the only person who felt that way after watching the video. Because I read the comments and everyone was just praising her, telling her how wonderful this video is. So, since my views weren't represented in the comment section, I decided to make a critique of what she said, using my understanding of economics. Greetings as usual, my name is Criswell and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'd really appreciate if you'd like the video and subscribe because it really helps me out. Alright. Let's go.
Problem number one, the island factor. Look, you can get most things in Jamaica. There are supermarkets, appliances stores, household goods. Everything necessary for life is available. Maybe not in every town, but in Kingston for sure. Until there is a moment when you need something specific, like this microphone for my YouTube videos. It's not like you can go to any shop and find it. There is simply not enough demand in Jamaica for some items, so they just don't get imported.
Yeah, but that shouldn't stop people from importing it themselves. Why don't people like importing these things themselves? Customs. She completely missed it on this one. She should be identifying customs as the problem. That damn government institution. It's the one that makes it difficult for Jamaicans to import the things that they want. It forces us to pay duties and fees because ultimately they want to discourage us from buying overseas products. That's what's actually going on. I can't believe she didn't pick this up.
So what's the solution? The easiest one is to fly to the US or buy things online, but...
You see, her solution isn't even an actual permanent solution. It's a temporary fix. Sure, you can fly to the US and buy it, but you're gonna have to do that every time you want something that's not out here. That's inefficient and that's not sustainable. She misidentified the actual problem and that's why her solution doesn't make any sense. The actual problem here, or the actual solution here, is to get rid of the tariffs. If we didn't have to pay the tariffs, this wouldn't be an issue.
You know how people talk that Jamaica is a poor country? Well, Jamaicans think that the salaries are low, and yes, they are lower than in the so-called first world countries, but they're certainly much higher than the rest of the world, like most of Africa, Asia, Latin America, or even Eastern Europe.
Nice attempt, but that's not true. It's mixed. The salaries in Jamaica aren't that much higher than the ones in the rest of the world. She mentioned Eastern Europe. She's from Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe has some of the poorest countries in all of Europe. Ukraine, Moldova, Belarus. I mean, these are poor countries. I get what she's trying to do, but it doesn't make us feel better when you compare us to poor countries. Oh, and let me just say this before some people come at me. There are some countries in Eastern Europe that are doing okay, but they're not rich. We want to be rich.
Salaries are not the problem. It's the cost of living. I'm going to make a video.
The thing is, it's both. It's not one or the other. If we were more productive in tradable goods, our salaries would be higher. But it's obvious. The rising cost of living is troubling. But again, that's an effect. What's causing that effect? What's the real problem here? Inflation. And who's causing all this price inflation? The Jamaican government. It's the one engaging in all this money printing which is driving up our cost of living. Because look, when they increase the money supply, it means that there is more money chasing the same number of goods and services. That's going to drive up the prices, our cost of living. And by the way, that's not to say that it's Jamaica alone. All governments increase their money supply and cause inflation. But when you go on the BOJ's website and check the annual inflation rate by country, you're going to see that our inflation rate is always higher than America's, than Canada's, than the UK's. So it means that our cost of living is going up much faster than theirs. Which means we're screwed both ways. We have lower salaries and our cost of living is going up much faster. Yeah. But look, my point is she should be identifying both of them as the problems. And she should be blaming the government because ultimately it's the one causing this.
Problem number 3, the lack of business people. Nobody ever talks about it. And even if you think that business might be a bad thing, let me explain. A lot of Jamaicans have this entrepreneurial spirit. They're decisive, they're active, but they don't know how to run their own business. And there is no way for them to find out either. So instead of them using their potential to create projects, attract investments, create jobs, and build economy, and use a business as a force for good to solve problems, some of these entrepreneurial people simply ignore the potential and just look for a job. Others try to apply the potential, but they don't know any better, so they go and harass tourists in the street or something. Anyway.
What? This lady doesn't know what she's talking about. Look, I'm sorry, but what she just said is absolute rubbish. And look, if I come off as an asshole, I'm sorry. But this is what she said. She said that the country lacks business people because the ones out here who are entrepreneurial don't pursue entrepreneurship because they don't know how to run businesses. That's not the reason Jamaicans don't start enough businesses. It's because there isn't much capital out here that's available. That's why. For instance, if you were Mark Zuckerberg, the guy who created Facebook or stole Facebook, whatever your thing is, but if you were him as a teenager living in Jamaica and you wanted to make Facebook a reality, you wouldn't create it out here. There's no way you'd be able to create that in Jamaica. Alright, let me tell you why. I can't believe people actually liked her video. People probably call me bad mind, but let me tell you why. The reason you wouldn't be able to create a company like that in Jamaica is because you wouldn't have the two essential things that you need to create a company like that. You wouldn't have the capital and you wouldn't have the talent. Alright? You know what? For you to understand, we're going to probably have to go to the basics. And some of you guys probably know this already. But every newly formed company or every startup needs money to function. Where's that money going to come from? It has to come from savings. All newly formed companies are funded by savings. Say it after me. It's going to either come from your personal savings, the savings from your friends or family, or savings from investors. And when I say investors, I'm talking about the venture capitalists, the angel investors. I'm talking about the big guys. Now, if your salary is too low, so low that you can't even put aside money to fund your business, then you're going to need help from your friends and family. But most likely, they're in a similar situation. They can't give you 500,000 US dollars to start a company like Facebook. So you're going to have to use a third option, which is venture capitalists. But, if we don't have a lot of those guys out here, then that company will never be formed. Listen, what I'm trying to say is that you'll never be able to execute on that Facebook idea out here. Chances are you're gonna leave. And even then, you're not gonna even be the only person who's gonna leave. Other talent is gonna leave as well. The people who are really good at software engineering. And if all the talented people are leaving because they're gonna leave, talented people aren't gonna stay in a country where they're not well compensated for their talents. If they're all leaving, it means that the ones who stayed back are screwed. Again, we don't lack business people because Jamaicans don't know how to run businesses. We lack business people because business-minded people know their worth. They're not going to stay here. They're going to leave. They're going to go to other countries and create businesses over there and be successful over there. If the capital isn't out here, the businesses aren't going to be started. That's just the truth. We don't have a lot of savings out here and we don't have a lot of venture capitalists. There's literally only one billionaire in the Caribbean, and he's Jamaican, by the way. His name is Michael Leachin. Billionaire in terms of US dollars. But look, we need more guys like him. We need more guys investing in small companies and creating new industries. That's what we need.
Anyway, how's that bad and how's that going to affect you? Well, not enough decent competition in different industries is what drives prices up and quality down. So even if you want to retire in Jamaica or just stay in the hills, have a little farm and a peaceful life, that's brilliant. But the moment you need some kind of service, you will be affected.
This is something I somewhat agree with. But you can't even talk about the lack of competition without mentioning regulations. The regulations are what create a barrier to entry, which makes it more difficult for other competitors to enter the market. And the regulations actually cost the existing companies a lot of money to comply with. And what they do is they simply shift the costs onto us in their pricing. So again, she really should be talking about the regulations here.
Problem number 4, the lack of specialists. If Jamaica is so wonderful, why are there so many Jamaicans who relocate to Canada, USA, or Britain? The main reason, they want to get better jobs.
Well, yes, because with better jobs comes what? Come on, better pay. But wait, I thought you said that low salaries aren't the problem. Did I hear you right?
Problem number 5, helping family. There is an amazing quality Jamaican people have. They stand up for each other, they support each other, especially when it comes to family and friends. How's that a bad thing? When it comes to personal matters, it's brilliant and it's admirable. But when rational decisions have to be made, this is when the problem of trying to help family comes in. For example, you have a nephew who needs a job. You have a friend who works at a garage. So, you go to a friend. Why don't you help my nephew to get a job there? Maybe because he's not good at cars. Or maybe because he doesn't want to work in that industry. The result, you have one unhappy mechanic, one unhappy employer, and quite a few unhappy customers. At the same time, there is...
Okay, she's talking about nepotism here, and I agree with her. This is definitely an issue in Jamaica. But would I say that it's holding back the country? Not really. Like, if you could wave a wand and have all the nepotism in Jamaica disappear, would that suddenly make Jamaica a rich country? No, this is not something that's endemic to Jamaica. This happens everywhere. I don't really know whether it's worse in Jamaica than it is in other countries because there aren't any nepotism stats out there by country. At least I couldn't find any. The only thing I could find was an article that explained that by age 30, about 22% of American sons will be working for the same employer at the same time as their fathers. That's the only thing I could find. So, I don't know. And you see, usually this is not really a problem because logically it has to lead to failure. For instance, if you have a company and you hire your friends who are probably not so good at a job, you're going to lose your customers because your customers are going to go to where they can get better service. But I can see how this might not always play out in Jamaica. If you live in one of those parishes way outside of Kingston, there might be only one shop near to you and the next one might be a mile away. Like, you know when Jamaicans usually say that the next shop is just around the corner? Hell. So I can understand how this can make your life a bit more difficult because you're just gonna have to accept the rubbish service, no real competition. But again, this is not something like the thing that's holding back the economy. Even if this disappeared tomorrow, we wouldn't become a rich country.
But if you're Jamaican watching this video, think about it. Maybe something can and should be done by us, not the government, but average people. I'd like to hear your ideas.
Yeah, you see that one now? I'm really happy she said that. I'm glad she didn't call for the government to do something to fix this. Because this is not something the government can fix. People do this because it's rough out here. It's really rough out here. But I understand, like, people want their family members and friends to have some form of income. That's why they look the other way. But it's true, it doesn't help anyone long term. When people don't have the skills to do a job, but other people hire them regardless, we have to put up with terrible products and services. We should stop that for real. Especially customer service. Customer service in Jamaica is rubbish!
But it is important for living. There are a lot of things you can do in Jamaica. And for some hobbies and interests, Jamaica is much better than other countries. For example, if you're a big fan of spearfishing, there is a fantastic community here. But what if you spend your whole life doing capoeira martial arts? There is a tiny community in Kingston doing capoeira, but it's just not enough. How important are these things anyway? When moving to a different country, your interests and things you want to do should be the priority. Otherwise, what's the point? If you move to Jamaica and it doesn't have the important things you love, you are going to be unhappy here.
What? At this point, I'm thinking that she's just trying to lengthen her video to improve her watch time. Because what was this? Look, Irina, when I saw your video, I'm thinking that you're going to talk about structural issues, economic issues, that you're going to list the problems that are endemic to Jamaica. What? For this problem, she's basically saying that it's going to be difficult for you to live in Jamaica. Emphasis on the Jamaica there, if your hobbies and interests aren't out here. Well, duh, that's a problem everywhere. If you're into skiing, newsflash, you can't do it out here. Look, I know she said that this is a problem everywhere, but why would she even include this? I don't see how this is holding back Jamaica. I don't see how this is a unique problem that Jamaica faces, a real problem of Jamaica. Irene, what is this?
Problem number 8, stereotypes and assumptions. This is painful pain that can be very annoying to the point that you can just get tired explaining the same things again and again. I bet it's pretty annoying for Jamaicans too, living elsewhere. But let me share my situation. When people from Ukraine or from some other countries find out that I live in Jamaica, they go, aha, you probably smoke weed. Oh, there you go. Not all people in Jamaica smoke weed. But you don't. No, I don't. Well, you don't like weed? So you think weed is bad? No, I don't think weed is bad. So you don't smoke? So you do smoke it? No, I don't smoke. I'm allergic to it. So you think weed is good? No, I don't think it's irrelevant. What does it have to do with Jamaica?
I don't know. Why did you include it? I'm just as confused. She's supposed to be talking about the real problems of Jamaica. And here she's talking about personal stereotypes, about people thinking that she's into black men or she likes to smoke. Tell me how your personal stereotype, or how people stereotype you as a person, is a unique problem that Jamaica faces. Irina, you said the real problems of Jamaica. The real problems that what? Hold us back as a country? That's what I'm thinking, But you see, now I'm getting the sense that this video is more along the lines of slight inconveniences that might frustrate a foreigner looking to relocate to Jamaica. The title is just completely misleading. But right now I'm just going to continue because this is just entertainment at this point.
Problem number 9, the consequences of freedom. Freedom is a great thing. This is one of the reasons I chose Jamaica. But of course, if I can do what I want, others can do too. And I'm not talking about the illegal stuff here. It's more like if people next door decide to have a party in the middle of the night and the music is really loud, you can do absolutely nothing about it.
You heard what she just said? Look, I don't think Irina did much research before making this video. If your neighbors are playing loud music late in the night, of course there is something that you can do about it. There is something in Jamaica called the Noise Abatement Act. It's been around since 1997. I know about it because back in the day my mother was involved with a lot of entertainment events, Stone Love and all of that, but that's another story. So, by law, no one should be singing or operating a loudspeaker or microphone at any time of the night or day where you can hear it within 100 meters. That's on the books. And if the sound is actually affecting people during the specified hours, then that's called an annoyance. The specified hours, by the way, are between 2 and 6 a.m. on a Saturday and Sunday, and midnight to 6 a.m. for the rest of the week. So, back to what she was saying. She said that she had asked them to turn down the music, and it sounds like they basically shamed her a runner. Well, what she could have done was call the police. Because if they never turned down the music after she had asked, that's an offense. The person would have had to pay 20,000 Jamaican dollars or spend 6 months in jail. Of course, there are loopholes to this. If they got permission from the superintendent of police, then they could play. But it still would have had to be shut down by 2 a.m. I don't understand why she said there's nothing you can do about this.
Problem number 10. Things take time. One lady came to Montego Bay to meet a family of her Jamaican boyfriend. And she says, I want to go to a bank, open a bank account there, then pop into tax office to get my TRN, and on the way back, I would probably stop at the police station to get my police record. So we're probably going to be back by noon. What kind of places would you suggest for lunch over here? And I see her boyfriend laughing. There is no way you can do something like this in Jamaica. I mean, by noon, you would still be in a queue in the bank. Somewhere in the beginning.
All right, you see now that I'm not biased. I can agree with that. That's definitely an issue in Jamaica. The bureaucracy is caused by government again, but government regulation ultimately. But that's another video.
But wait, I thought this list should be very different. Number 1, crime. Number 2, crime. Number 3, crime. Guys, crime is a result of a lot of small problems piling up. And I will make a separate video about it. For now, I just state the facts.
Alright. I'm actually glad she didn't go for the typical answer, which is crime, because I also think it's overplayed. Everyone says that we're struggling as a country because of crime, and that's not necessarily true. Like, I remember when I was listening to Michael Leachin, and he said that it's sometimes hard to persuade foreigners to invest in Jamaica. Even when he was trying to put NCB on the New York Stock Exchange, they gave him a fight. They basically told him no because the company's from Jamaica. Good company, but wrong country.
I can remember we're doing a roadshow. We're looking at taking the National Commercial Bank, NCB, doing an IPO on the New York Stock Exchange. So we did 66 interviews or presentations in 10 days in London, New York, Los Angeles, Toronto. In London in 2013, May of 2013, the response was, Mike, NCB, beautiful house, bad neighborhood. Wow. Went to New York, NCB, beautiful house, bad zip code.
Wow.
My mother once told me, when you're choosing a partner, the things you love about him are important, but it is the things you don't like about him that would matter the most, whether you're going to be happy together or not. Apparently, the same thing can apply to a country. So if you're interested in Jamaica and wish to join the discussion, welcome to the club of passionate people about Jamaica. Thank you for watching. My name is Irina, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.
Alright. So guys, this is what I think. I think the video was decent. Probably. She just didn't get deep enough, and there were times when I was just confused. Sometimes it felt as though she was trying to explain the problems holding back Jamaica using economics, and then there were times when it felt as though she was just listing inconveniences that a foreigner might experience if he or she came here. So I don't know, I think it's the title. The title threw me off. It's completely misleading. But you know, I think I could do a better video, explaining the problems holding back Jamaica as a country, why we're not growing, why we're still poor, or how to make Jamaica rich. I think I can do a video like that. But that's it for today's video. I know it's a long one, but that's how it usually is when you're critiquing someone. As usual, you don't know, support your boy, like, subscribe, share, and help me grow this channel. Also, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, guys, please. When I look in the comment section, it's usually empty. I want to start a discussion, alright? So let me know your thoughts. And remember, criticism is not bad mind. See you in the next one.